finals here at the Austrian Darts Open. It has been a phenomenal afternoon of darts so far. We've got two of the outsiders on the way, looking to book their place in the quarter-finals, the final session of action here in the 5th European Tour event of 2016. Ron Meulenkamp is one of them. The bomb will take on Michael Smith, the number 3 seed and a 3-time Euro Tour winner in the final game of this afternoon. But right now, it's the Undertaker, the man from Warwickshire, Nigel Heydon, up against the Diamond Ian White. A former finalist on the European Tour. You've got to go back to 2012 when the European Tour was created in this form, when he had his run to the final in Germany, beaten by Adrian Lewis. And the Diamond will be the heavy favourite here, but we've already seen from Nigel Heydon that he has the darts to worry even the best in the world. Seen off Roxy James Rodriguez in round 1, and then Robert Thornton in the last round. Dan Dawson to talk you through it. Paul Nicholson alongside me for it.
Yeah, this is the quarter of the draw where the players will say, right, this is a realistic chance for me to really ignite my season.
First leg is Nigel to throw first.
This is already a successful week for Nigel, but he'll want to keep going. For Ian White, it's about maintaining his ranking and trying to get that better, and the only way to do that is to win matches.
Certainly is. And Heydon, first dart is perfect, the second dart anything but.
82.
Ian White has the added incentive because he had to win his last game, which he did against Simon Stevenson, 6-4. Debut on the European Tour for Simon Stevenson this weekend, acquitted himself very well. But Ian White, because of a rather monumental mix-up with his travel plans, had to win that game to break even this weekend. Because he got back
59.
From Unicorn product launch the other day on Thursday. Oh, great, I'll just check my flights, heading out there to Vienna on Friday. No, he wasn't, it was Thursday. He had an hour to
134.
Which meant that he wasn't going to make it. So he's had to get a last-minute flight that's cost him well over 500 quid.
Well, what did we mention yesterday about
97.
making mistakes and learning from them? Well, we're not just talking about on the dartboard, we're talking about preparation as well. I can guarantee you that will never happen again now.
I wouldn't have thought so, no.
121.
But you know, it's these weird kind of things. Sometimes, you know, things like that can happen, and then you turn out, when you actually get here, eventually, you end up playing the darts of your life, and you win the biggest tournament of your life. This would be the biggest win of his career, Ian White, if he won one of these European Tour events. But Nigel Heydon's not going to make it easy for him.
Here's a funny one for you. How about Mark Walsh? Going over to Las Vegas when they used to have Players' Championships over there, on time for the flight.
85.
Nothing wrong with his carry-on luggage, anything like that. The manager forgot to enter him into the tournament. He was there for nothing.
Unlucky Walshy. Heydon, double 16 to get the first leg on the board in 15 darts.
76.
This is inside. White on 101 for an early break. The number 6 seed, Ian White.
It took a while for Ian to get into the game against Simon Stevenson, but when he did, he was very good. Nigel's coming back.
65.
He's going to want to nail this.
Require 16.
His throw. Be a good start.
Game shot on the first leg.
Nigel will look at this game and say, this is a realistic
Ian
chance
to throw
for me.
first.
He's not playing a Van Gerwen. He's not playing, you know, a huge averaging Benito van der Pas. These guys were hitting the 110s, the 112s. Ian White is a 96 average guy.
100.
And Nige can live with that when he plays well.
Yeah, it's not easy. He's obviously the outsider, but, you know, it could have been tougher. Look, if Ian White goes and plays how he can, then he can go and average 110. I mean, he's a man who beat Michael van Gerwen 6-0 in the final of a Players' Championship early this year.
I hasten to say that we'll never see that again.
Well,
it was just one of those days, and
100.
Forever that will be uttered, the name Ian Diamond White beat Michael van Gerwen 6-0.
In the last, I think, 4 years, Michael van Gerwen has been beaten to 0 3 times. Once by Ian White.
60.
The other 2 by the same person. I'll have a stab.
Very interesting.
Not here this weekend.
81.
Adrian Lewis. Or is it the other one? Gary Anderson.
Gary Anderson. Gary Anderson, isn't
It was
that?
a coin flip.
Yeah.
100.
Time for Heydon, but Ian White in control of this leg as things stand.
Well, Ian looked like he was going mining on that walk-on. Well, was he looking for diamonds? Yeah,
180.
he was looking for a red bit there and he found it. Perfect setup.
Yeah, couldn't ask any more of himself there. Ton 80 to leave. 3 clear darts at double top to level the match at 1 apiece.
60. And you require 40.
There's some purpose in the step of Ian White there. Couldn't wait to get back to the hockey for tops. Got to switch now. Got to go back up top.
30.
Well, Nigel's nowhere near him, so there's no pressure really, but he'd rather be coming back for tops if he'd missed all 3.
Not a case for busting it there on that last dart with your opponent on 2-2-1.
Definitely a case for it, I would say so. I know
140.
it's a half and half discussion.
And you require 10.
If you bust it, some people say, well, you're scared of double 5.
This is the problem. Double 1.
No score.
That is the problem. You can
Nigeria
get yourself
require
in a pickle.
81.
So in instances like this, you think, well, yes, you should have bust. But if you'd hit double 5 with the first dart, he would look like a genius.
Well, you can do any way you want as long as you hit it. And Nigel Heydon is looking at double 12 for 2-0. Now double 6 for a break of throw.
75.
That was an incredible chance.
And you require 10.
Whitey's got to get rid of this as soon as possible and move on in this game. The more you miss, the more it gets in your head. The way his darts land, that first dart should have been high.
8 score.
Just like that one.
Nigel, you require 6.
Wow. The Ashdown, double 3. Nigel Heydon just wants to slide one over the top of that.
Game shot on the
Just
second
like
leg. Nigel
that.
Heydon.
And it is
Third leg is
2-0.
Nigel to throw
The
first.
seeded player, Ian White,
Game on.
hasn't got going yet. He's missed 7 darts at double in this one.
Be very disappointed with that leg. He was in control of it for so long. He's in that situation again in this match. I think he may just bust it, but
140.
he's got no one else to blame but himself, unfortunately. I've mentioned it many times. It's a lonely place on stage. You get yourself in trouble like that.
140.
Good bounce back ability again from Ian White. Keep scoring the way you are, and you'll give yourself more chances, but you've got to start taking them.
$131.
And Nigel upset Robert Thornton, 6-5.
Odd game that, wasn't it? It was, you and Chris were commentating on it, and I was sat there watching it.
96.
It seemed really sort of scrappy stuff, but then you'd just get one magnificent visit. And I mean, Heydon hit a 164 in that game, didn't he?
And Thornton with a 140 checkout and 2 top shots. I thought that when Robert hit that, he's going to be okay now. Once he hits a shot like that, that's
60.
a confident visit. And unfortunately, it just didn't happen for Robert.
Yeah, it's
And
just
Nigel took his chance.
moments of magic in a sea of mediocrity in that game, and Nigel Heydon ended up
121.
scrapping his way through.
Nigel
And at the
require
minute, he's battled his
170.
way to a 2-0 lead. He's looking at 170, already taken out the 164 this weekend. How about this?
Well, we haven't seen one this weekend yet. And we aren't going to in this visit. What's he going to do? Can he see the bullseye enough? Or treble 18? He's gone 18.
98. And you require
It's all about personal
144.
preference, that one there. As it is with 144, probably 60s. Could have used treble 18s like Benito van der Pas did earlier on today. That's pretty good.
112.
Lovely
Nigel,
lead.
you require 72.
So Nigel should get 1 dart at a double at the very minimum, but is going to get 2. Going to need the second one. Shifted alongside for double 6 the last time and missed it, but doesn't
Game
this
shot on
time.
the third leg. Nigel Heydon.
3-0 to
Fourth
the
leg is Ian to
Undertaker.
throw first. Game on.
Particularly impressive, that one, because he missed double 6 by such a margin last time out. That would have been stuck in his head, and it was interesting that he moved across there.
58.
I mean, you can kind of understand the logic of it. Sometimes you wonder why some players don't do it. If you're throwing in a straight line, then you can shuffle along the oche. So if you're just completely throwing in a straight line, all you've got to worry about is getting the weight of dart right.
97.
But, you know, it's a time-consuming one. Dart players like to be able to get into a rhythm and just stand where they are and go bang, bang, bang.
Correct. It's all about personal preference, because I was always a shuffler. My favourite double still is double 16, but I always move along the oche by a few inches. And it's
100.
about making all the shots the same distance. We've talked about Stephen Bunting and the likes of Ted Hankey standing all the way to the right. And their look at double 16, which is the best example of it, it probably cuts the size of the bed in half. But if you move over, you've got a much bigger target to aim at and a shorter oche to negotiate.
Yeah, I mean, you're only talking small margins, but small margins make a difference in this game.
96.
We're talking millimetres here. And the adjustment that Nigel made between leg 2 and leg 3, very, very good, because he was high and to the left on the first attempt. He was low and on target for the second one. So good
56.
adjustment from the Undertaker, definitely.
Neck and neck in this leg, and Ian White, you kind of feel it's a leg he has to win, because if he goes 4-0 down with 2 breaks, then he's in all kinds of bother. It's not
60.
an insurmountable obstacle for the Diamond to overcome, but it's a flipping big one. It might be getting bigger.
Well, Nigel's just sticking around and making things awkward for Ian. He's not having anything his own way.
122.
It's been a while since we've seen Nigel Heydon competing in the latter stages of PDC tournaments, certainly on a regular basis. I mean, he moved over to the PDC in 2010, made a semi-final. It was in Gibraltar, actually. It was only his second event.
137.
I know that very well, because he beat me that day.
126.
And I was the players' champion for about 6 days. And I'd never heard of Nigel Heydon, but I tell you what, after that week, I certainly did know who he was. He played very, very well. And I asked Andy Smith from Warwickshire, played for Warwickshire, actually lives in Worcestershire, who's Nigel Heydon? And he said, oh, you'll know who he is after today. And I certainly did.
Bullseye.
88.
Misses it.
And you require 50.
That was a good chance
Massive.
to go 4-0 up.
Massive moment, this. White hits the 10, 2 at double top for 3-1. It's got to go, Ian. That's not close.
30.
That's
Double
closer.
trouble.
Nigel, you require 38.
0 from 9 for Ian White.
He's already hit double 3 at the bottom of the board. The Ashdown, as you eloquently put it.
Game shot on the
forward. Obviously
fourth
likes the
leg.
bottom of the
Nigel
board.
Heydon.
Nigel
Fifth
must
leg
think
is
it's
Nigel to
Christmas.
throw first. Game on.
Ian must think it's Friday the 13th. Horror show for Ian White so far. It's not over yet. I'm sure there have been times in the past where he's come from these kind of deficits of
140.
4 and 1. And we've already alluded to the fact that he can win 6 legs in a row against anyone in the world.
Yeah, he certainly can, but he's not going to do it if he's hitting 0% of his doubles. I can assure you of that.
100.
Nigel Heydon, if he did win this, he'd be through to a quarter-final of a PDC ranking event for the first time in more than a year. He has gone one stage further and made the semi-finals on
60.
3 occasions, not just that one in Gibraltar. Do you remember who won that?
Colin Lloyd.
Close.
Was it Dennis Ovens?
Dennis Ovens. The Heat.
100.
Well, if you're out there, Dennis, watching this, we wish you well. Great man. Great friend. All we ever used to talk about was NFL. He's an Oakland Raiders fan. And I think they're about to have a decent season because they've got a good quarterback now in
100.
Derek Carr and a good defense. I'm sure I'll see you sometime in the future and we can talk more about it.
Sure, he'll be desperate to take you up on that offer. Dennis Ovens, what a man.
I'm pretty sure Colin Lloyd won on
100.
Saturday. It was one of the two.
He might. I don't have that information, I'm afraid.
We'll check into that one. Right now, Nigel is driving a very fast car towards the quarterfinals,
80.
but wanted more than that. Sometimes you just get days like this where it's just not your
60.
day.
Nigel, you require
The
121.
look on Ian's face pretty much sums up what's happening. It's just not happening for him. Right, there's the 1. He's thinking 81. And it should be 81. It's And it is 81.
Peter Wright, take note. That's how you hit a single 20 after you fired one into the treble. 141 for Ian White. This would just potentially ignite the blue touch paper. The diamond double 12.
Oh, 129.
A 10th dart at doubles missed by Ian White. 40. And after the perfection of the two that went before it.
Slight glimmer.
Game shot on the 5th leg.
A little bit of a smirk from Nigel, as if to say,
6th leg is Ian to throw first.
Wow, I can't believe this is happening. But it is. He's 5-0 to the good on the number 6 seed. Is this Karma's way of saying you can't beat the world number 1 6-0 without repercussions?
Well, it's a second maximum in this game. Both of them have gone to Ian White. But he's still averaging 91, despite the fact he's 0 for 10 on his double.
100.
Ian's such a nice fella. You wouldn't wish this situation on anyone. Who's he going to keep
100.
fighting? There have been a lot of stories throughout the Pro Tour over the years where, you know, players come away from and said, I was 5-0 up. I lost 6-5. I don't know what happened. If it was Alex Roy, we'd get every dart possibly described, how it flew, where it went, and where it should have gone. We love you really, Alex. But he's going to have to be perfect
43.
from here on in. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. But it might in this leg, because he does have the advantage.
Yeah, but 6 legs on the spin. Heydon playing a solid game. There you see 91 average, 45% of his
100.
doubles. I mean, it's solid without being spectacular, but he is on the verge of a first ever Euro Tour quarter-final. The best run he had was the last 16, this stage of the tournament in Germany. And that was
81.
a good 3 years ago. So this is a huge weekend already for Nigel Heydon. It could be about to turn into a monumental one.
Could well do. And if you look at the draw, for instance, the winner of this game, which looks like it's going to be Nigel Heydon at this point,
97.
Michael Smith or Ron Meulenkamp. Now, Meulenkamp's playing good. Probably better than I've ever seen him. Michael Smith
very
last
lucky
night,
to be here.
super lucky last night.
37.
This could be curtains for Ian White. 64 for Nigel Heydon. Lovely dart. 2 match darts at double 8. And the Undertaker has just buried the number 6 seed. Ian White dumped out 6-0 by Nigel Heydon, who makes a quarter-final on the European Tour for the first time ever. He goes through either Michael Smith or Von Meulenkamp awaits. And if he plays solidly like that, then Paul, he might well find himself even further in this tournament.
He certainly could. I mean, Ian White, 6-0 and 6 feet under. It's just unbelievable. But we better believe it, folks, because Nigel Heydon is coming back to the stage later tonight to play either Michael Smith or Ron Meulenkamp. We'll find out who wins that match shortly. But some words for Nigel now.
Congrats, Nigel.
We'll see you soon.
You're already now the biggest surprise of the tournament so far. Are you a bit surprised by yourself?
I'm not surprised, but yeah, if Ian had hit his doubles there, it would have been 5-0 down instead of 5-0 up. I was very fortunate that Ian missed his doubles there. That's the game of darts, isn't it? You get just that little bit of wire in it. I feel gutted for it. You know, I feel gutted for Ian there. He deserved more than. There's no way 6-0. No way 6-0.
Also sagt, das war natürlich viel zu deutlich. Es hätte nämlich genau auch umgekehrt ausgehen können, wenn Ian White seine Doubles getroffen hätte. But anyway, you're playing so self-confident. Maybe the big sensation is possible. What do you think?
Oh, it'd be nice. Be nice. Just to play in front of these guys here, it's been awesome. You know, it's been so long since I've been playing in front of this crowd. I love it. That's why we do it. You know, I'm only part-time, but you know, to play in front of everyone here, you know, you got to love it. Love it. Brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Nigel. See you tonight. And good luck.